kind of the game plan, going over sharing equipment ideas of what
Yeah.
people can use with their social videos, best practices, and then, if agents have any videos that they want you to critique, kind of give them feedback.
Yeah. So here's just to build on that. Here's what I'd like to do, folks. Let's call this a roast, if you're open to it, a constructive one. If you have any videos in particular where you want to analyze, hey, this really worked well, let's try to break down the lightning in a bottle that made it work so well, or this is losing steam. If you have a link to an Instagram or a YouTube or a Facebook video, just drop it in the chat or LinkedIn. And I'd like to use that as an opportunity for some constructive input on what I'm noticing with other clients I work with in terms of what's working with video, what's not working with video, and offer whatever insight I have to offer toward just better video marketing. And then in addition to Emily's point, if there's an opportunity to have some gear talk, I wouldn't mind getting into either some actual equipment solutions for better video and or some AI solutions for better video. So I wonder who will be our first brave soul. The way I'd really like this to be structured is to look at some actual videos if you're willing to share. So far, the only brave souls in the chat have been your Firefly note-taking AIs. That's okay. They don't know the difference between being brave and not being brave. Okay, so I've got a couple of you that are in. All right, so Andre, if you're in, you want to drop in a chat? And let me tell you where this is coming from. How many of you, just before I get into sharing really like honest, open feelings, who's never heard me present before, who has no idea who I am, or why they're on this call with me and has no context? Okay, that's a relief. So most of you have context. Just to give you some backstory on where this is coming from, I've been working with Nazar individually on his videos. And for the last several weeks, we've been really digging into what are the topics of the videos? How do you optimize a video to appeal to the algorithm that is governing who sees what on these top social platforms like TikTok or Instagram or whatever it is? And the third piece is I have noticed, and this is going to be me being critical. Please don't hear me as a critic. This is designed to be constructive. I've noticed a lot of folks are still running the same video presentation approaches that worked 6 or 7 years ago. And now they sort of come off as a little bit out of date, just in terms of the way we're presenting on social. So with that being said, and that backstory being shared, I'm gonna look at the chat. So I'm looking for links, folks. I'm seeing that you have videos, but I need to know where the videos are. Okay, I got my first one from Craig in Austin. What's up, Craig in Austin?
Greetings. Greetings.
So I'm gonna share my screen, and we're looking at Craig in Austin. Craig, can you unmute for us for a second?
Yeah, I'm on your video now.
All right. So before I watch this video, what's the backstory I want to know? Who is the avatar? How often are you doing this? Where are you posting these? Just give me some context.
Yeah, I mean, so these are our reels slash shorts. Been doing them for a number of years. They're just talking heads. We post them on these. I put them in, the newsletter. I generally have a local topic and a national topic. Local stuff I find is easier to pull. But they're just not doing much of anything. I think, where I used to be pretty good at video, it seems really that that luster has gone. Find it difficult to find the time, the assistance. I don't have a great videographer anymore. And
Right.
so, it's enough to just get by, say we have some content, someone can drop in and, they're thinking about hiring me and okay, he's active on social, blah, blah, blah. But nothing is really good anymore.
Was there a time where it was working really well and it was actually building an audience and there was tangible results?
I mean, especially locally, right, within my farm and stuff like that. We used to do incredible listing videos. I used to do a lot of community-oriented videos. Just things like that.
What's changed? Just the videographer and time?
Videographer is really one of the bigger ones. It used to be someone, I had a long time assistant before they moved, and her husband did my videography. Trying to find someone that even edits their own stuff anymore is very difficult in my market, and the cost is frankly astronomical.
Yeah, and I would offer just a quick little question, and I'm asking this question somewhat rhetorically. I don't mean it as a go do this or Jason's right, but it's stuff I evaluate too. Craig, I think you're right, man. It's hard to find good talent. Just because somebody says they're a videographer has no bearing on how good they are at it. I mean, there's a lot of people who say they can fix a car, are they going to fix the car or not? It's the same level of ambiguity. I also think we're moving into a world where this is just my own internal musings. Less produced content tends to work better. It's perceived as more authentic. AI has made video editing and stuff like that easier and easier. There are more devices like the DJI Pocket and devices like that can allow you to get like 6K video with stabilization automatically built in. That's incredibly easy for you to produce on your own. So I'm just kind of wondering, what does it look like if we adopt a mentality that says, and this may not be for everybody, but what does it look like if some of us just say, you know what, I'm going to make my own videos? Craig, I got to tell you, man, I don't have a video editor anymore. I edit my own videos because I can knock them out so freaking fast in CapCut, get it the way I want it, record it the way I want it. And, I'm finding that I can produce less content and give it longer to sort of breathe and get the results I'm looking for. So I'm aiming for 3 videos a week. It's sort of what I'm aiming for, at least on Instagram. I've got content going elsewhere in podcasts and stuff, but that's different. I don't know if that helps. Let's give your video a watch and then maybe offer feedback. And maybe the feedback comes from me, like maybe direction in terms of your presentation or just maybe a shift in content.
Yeah, I think what I'm looking for kind of with these is where do I, I've got these talking heads I've done for years. What do I do to replace them? Or how do I improve these?
And just before I do this, what's your main channel? Is it Insta, Facebook, YouTube? Is there one that's got more dominance?
No, it's funny. I mean, something will do great on Instagram, but not YouTube. Some will do great on YouTube, not Instagram.
Who is playing a ukulele right now? Was it a video? I don't know what that was. Somebody is getting the vibes on this call. All right, let's go ahead, Craig. I'm listening.
No, I was going to say, it's just, I mean, no rhyme or reason. Some of them do better on one platform than another. I never seem to get one that performs well on all of them.
Is there a desire to have one platform where it's like, this is like, for me, I got to be honest, my home base is Instagram. Do you have a home base or don't really care?
No, I don't really care.
All right, let's just watch this video.
No one cares that they're famous. A lot of publicity is generated when a celebrity puts their home on the greetings. No one cares that they're famous.
One, I like your style. Greetings. No one cares. I thought that was kind of a little bit like a shock and awe. It's funny. I don't know if that greetings was a quick enough where, I mean, I think, Craig, you're aware of the statistic that the first 3 seconds are make it or break it for a video. It's the opening hook. And I'm wondering if that greetings, even though it was sort of it struck me as funny because you just kind of changed directions really quickly. I don't know if that would have been enough for somebody to just go scroll because it seems like, hi, I'm Jason Pantana. Were they anticipating that? Anyways, I'm probably offering feedback too soon. Let's watch more.
A lot of publicity is generated when a celebrity puts their home on the market or if a home previously owned by a celebrity is offered for sale. But that begs the question, does a property sell for more because of the celebrity's ownership?
Are you looking directly at a camera or a prompter?
Prompter, it's behind I'm reading through glass, the camera's behind it.
Okay.
No, it usually doesn't. The affiliation to the celebrity, whether they're the current owner or a previous owner, is great.
Even though you're really close, you could still have that run through an eye contact correction, CapCut. What are you editing in, Craig?
My assistant does it. I think she's using DaVinci.
Okay. I don't know if DaVinci has eye contact correction or not. But CapCut, Captions, Descript, they all have eye contact correction. And it may just adjust it a little bit, but that's minute.
To generate buzz about the house by generating news articles, social media posts.
I would also say for a talking head like this, I would anticipate wanting to see some examples. I'm not saying any visual aids to support it. It's just you talking. And that makes it like I get the point. Okay, it doesn't make a big difference that a celebrity owns a house, move on. And then you're not getting that watch completion. Craig, what do you understand? And this is, I'm working through you to everybody. What do you understand about these platforms' number one metrics they're looking for in terms of determining how wide and far they're going to distribute your content? What are the algorithmic variables that matter most?
Whether someone's actually going to is watching the content.
What is Instagram, YouTube, TikTok? What do they look for that signals to them we should show this to more people?
I presume the length of how far into the video someone goes.
Yeah, so the big signal they're looking for is watch completions. Did they watch it all the way through? How many times did they watch it through? Instagram in particular has one more wild card variable. Did they share it with people? How many people do they share it with? They call it sends per reach. And the reason why Instagram cares so much about that share button is because it is a competitive advantage over TikTok. People don't really DM a lot in TikTok, not like they do in Instagram. And so the fact that there's like a billion reels getting shared every day on Instagram makes Instagram think that's a really, really special secret sauce. And so I'd ask the question, are you structuring your videos in a way that keeps people watching until the end? And are you structuring your videos in a way that makes them want to share it with somebody? Who needs to know this that they can pass it along to? Because if you can strike those chords in everything you do, that's going to be a win for you. Are you using AI to help you write the scripts?
To write the scripts, no. Sometimes for content ideas, but I mean the scripts are, it's less than a minute. It takes
Yeah.
less time
You
to
could
write
say,
it than to fix, gussy up their prompts. So
I use ChatGPT projects for this, where I've got a project that's been pre-trained on what I expect out of videos. So it's got hard-coded instructions that tell it, hey, these are the variables we're trying to play to. So whenever I go in there to write a new script, it has a presumed understanding that, okay, I've got to structure this script in a way that every respective sentence makes them want to watch to the next sentence, the next one. Then it just baits them carrot and stick. And it also understands that it needs to write in a way where it naturally encourages people to want to share it. So it's got some pre-prompting, you could call it. Those are those pre-built instructions that are going to help it write a script that way. I'm not saying you have to use AI to write the script. I'm just saying I sort of got the gist of your video, and we're before the halfway mark, and I was done. Does that make
yeah,
sense?
yeah. I will tell you, part of it these days is just, trying to crank it out to get on to the next task.
That's why I think AI would be a good solution here. I mean, would you be? I don't want to force us down a path where you're already questioning if you should or shouldn't do talking head videos. I know there are certain types of talking head videos that are doing really well right now, especially local ones. I'll show you a couple really quick. Let me pull up an Instagram page. What is this guy's name? I'm
I
trying
think
to.
I'd be fine, probably like you said, if I structure the prompts well enough, so that it knows what we're looking for. Even if I just feed it a chunk of a script that I've written to, instead of asking it to go out and find everything itself. I think that, give it a little bit of
Yeah,
what I'm trying
absolutely.
to go.
How
Yeah.
how confident are you in doing that?
I'm fine with AI. I'm happy to,
Yeah, I think a project would be the way to go.
Okay.
Do you know what those are?
Mhm.
So are you a ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude? What
I use Grok.
Grok? Okay. Grok has projects. And so just give it the pre-built instructions. That way every chat in there has some hard-coded rules that it follows, and then it will just be better and better and better over time. The other ones I would tell you to look out for, like these little videos here where it's local information, do really well. Um, they're pretty simple. They're AI scripted. Half the time it's an AI avatar video that's doing it. I don't really care if you do or don't use a video avatar. It would certainly make things faster because you could just put yourself in the lower corner. Couple of things are true. One, these are very hyper local. And so because they're so hyper local and they tend to be related to like some breaking news, it makes it very shareable. Think about what kind of stuff people share. They share stuff that is newsworthy, and they're going to share with people whose interests align. So instead of just saying celebrity houses, you could say so and so's house, maybe, or like make it an actual tangible event that happened in Austin. Does that make
Yeah.
sense, Craig?
Yeah. The local ones tend to do better than the ones that are more generalized.
Well, and if you think about, so I would also tell you on these platforms, if you're oscillating like kind of local, national, back and forth, you're actually making it more difficult for the algorithm to kind of put its finger on who your audience is.
Yeah.
I would just go straight up local, just straight up
Okay.
local all the time, because I saw Andy nodding his head. You want to make sure that the body of work on Instagram, on YouTube, on TikTok sends a clear, reinforced signal that, hey, we're all preaching the same thing. We're all in the same. When you share my content with an audience, you can rest assured I'm not a cul-de-sac channel. They're going to come and see a lot more content like that. It's going to keep your viewers on the platform longer. I'm going to work for you, Instagram. I'm going to work for you, TikTok. Does that make sense?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Andy, I see you nodding your head. You want to chime in on that? Mr. King of Video himself.
It's actually crazy. So, I mean, I've got so many followers from all over the world. I would trade them all for like 60,000 of this, like, small little zone where I'm at. I've just completely switched gears on all of that over the years. I thought, like bigger was better, and it was super great when I was going in a very different direction. But
Right.
if you're like a hyper local person, I've like tripled down on like I'm like third generation Long Beach. I know every street, all of that stuff. It's crazy how like the hyper local stuff, and it's the stuff that just gets preached over and over again. It's like be the local celebrity. I'm like, I got it, but it's like it really works. And it's
Really does. Like I look
yeah.
at Ken Pozak. Ken's gained a lot of popularity in the industry lately, but not through social media, just because he's on stages at events. You can't go to Orlando. Like that guy is an absolute celebrity in Orlando. But if you leave Orlando, nobody knows who he is. And that's the way that it should be. And the way you do that is you just feed the beast. You got to feed it consistent content that's all local. Like again, if you look at Katie's channel here, there's a sort of visual look that's consistent. Lower corner, 3 triad background, headline in the little middle, Canva template. And she just breaks news. And she has her team members just break news. They started this channel earlier this year, and it's already up to like 30,000 followers, and it's organic, and they're almost all local in Houston. And now they're starting to get DMs and inquiries and sellers. It took like 4 or 5 months to start getting business off of this, but it's now parlayed into business opportunities. And so I think, Craig, my advice for you is I don't think talking head is bad, but if I was going to sum up my feedback for you, it would be make sure you're structuring your scripts in a way that naturally makes the person want to keep watching because you want to feed the beast. Watch retention and then shares. Make them want to share it. What makes it shareable? Hyper local news makes it shareable. So if you can talk about local stuff and package it in a way where it becomes shareable, that's fantastic. One warning. Think back about like 15 years ago when blogging was all the rage. I know so many realtors who started blogs and all they became were food bloggers. They just blogged about this restaurant has the best French fries and this restaurant has the best hot dogs. And I went to there and I was like, why aren't you talking about real estate? Because nobody knows you actually sell real estate. So when you talk about local news, you need to maintain that you are coming at it as the local real estate professional, the local real estate expert, and then make it shareable. I think those green screen videos, Craig, could be really awesome for you. I think it would make it a lot easier to have like a background, have you in the lower corner or in the lower center. Those do really well. There's something moving in the background usually. It makes people want to stay around longer and watch. Craig, any final comments before I move to the next one or thoughts?
No, I appreciate it. We'll get to work on it.
Yeah. Man, I feel like I want to say more, but I want to move to other videos too. I get the drag of I don't have a videographer and I'm busy. I get that. I would tell everybody who feels that way right now, this is why you need AI to help you write video scripts. I have no problem with Craig reading teleprompter scripts. I read a teleprompter script on the video I posted this morning. Andy, go for it, man.
Just quick question. Actually, quick comment. So there's a guy, his name is Rick Lee, and I think his page on Instagram is Rick Lee Homes.
Yep, I know that name.
Yeah, no, I think he's actually worked with you too, Jason. He's with Real. He's gotten
I know him.
yeah, really good at like the hyper local stuff. I share his stuff constantly because he's constantly doing stuff about like certain things in Long Beach. His entire thing is AI. He comes from like an audio background, so he's just like
He's good at the tech side of it.
he's really good at the tech side of it, and
It's
it
not
is
his avatar right there.
yeah, it's exploded his business. All he talks about is like what's going on, like here's what's going on in the cities, but everything is real estate driven slash news based. It's
Now somebody's
phenomenal.
editing this. That's fancy on the lower half there.
Yeah, no, this is pretty much all he does now. He does this and open houses, and I've watched his business skyrocket over the past 12 months.
Cool.
And it's just like, hey, here's what's going on because of X, Y, and Z. And hey, if you live in this city, here's what's happening. Like it's just like it's him in front of a microphone and a computer.
So the other piece to mention on this is a lot of us, when we think about Instagram, we immediately I want touchdowns. I want clients immediately. But we're playing a game of first downs. To get to the end zone, you got to get the first down, the first down, the first down, the first down, and make your way down the field. When you think about Instagram Reels in particular, they are mostly going to be shown to non-followers. Why is that? Well, because on Instagram, there's multiple feeds. There's the home feed, there's the stories feed, which doesn't really matter for Reels. There's the explore page, but there's a Reels feed. And so the most likely place people are going to see your videos are in the Reels feed. The Reels feed does not prioritize followers. It prioritizes people's interests. What that means is when I'm scrolling through the Reels feed, whether or not I follow Craig or Andy or anybody else is really moot. What matters is what does it think I want to watch? And so it shows me like Nate Bargatze and all kinds of comedians because that's what it thinks I want to watch. And so I scroll through and see stuff and then I share it with somebody because it's funny. I'm sharing Jimmy Mackin comedian clips last night because I thought it was funny. And it's showing me stuff based upon my interest. I actually don't know what page showed me that stuff at all. I just thought it was funny and then I shared it and then I watched it. And so what I'm getting to is most of the people who watch your reels will be first impressions. Your goal is to get them to want to watch the content, share it, and maybe tap to your profile. And so you have to be super consistent to keep posting the same stuff over and over again, like just keep building that library, so to speak, so you can build your audience and then work them into your funnel. You got to begin with something that's useful to them. If it's a first impression, you're probably not going to say, so you should pick me because of all these reasons. What reasons, Jason? I haven't heard anything yet. It's a first impression. And that's why what this dude, Rick Lee, is doing, that's why Houston Unlocked is what they're doing. It's just straight local information that you need to know if you're living in the area. It makes them valuable. At the same time, I could name a guy like, have you all seen, what's his name? Sam RP. He's over in Boston. Have you seen what he does? So Sam RP, let me show you his page. Let's see, search.
Jason, while you're pulling that up, I have a question about how those reels also get sent to people, because I never post, full disclosure, but I posted a thing about watermelons, picking a watermelon, and I have my kids that live in a different state sending me screenshots of their friends there. Like, why is your mom coming up in my reels? Like, how does it also, like, because I know that a 21-year-old working at Chick-fil-A in college does not care about, old mom picking.
Actually, so you brought up a great point. It's kind of a tangent, but I'm going to take it. It's important. This is why it is really important to have consistent content. So Adam Azari, CEO of Instagram, has made it very abundantly clear that they're going to spotlight small creators every now and again. So likely what happened is you posted a video that was a little bit out of the ordinary for you, and it gave you some extra love and started showing it to a bunch of random people. You don't want this to happen. Here's why. I've met so many realtors who say, Jason, I just got 1 million views on my Instagram reel and picked up 48,000 followers. Isn't that incredible? And I say, maybe. What was the video? And they say, it was the cutest thing. My puppy dog was flying in first class with me. To which I respond and I'm like, I'm sorry, you broke your Instagram. And they're like, what? You broke your Instagram. You just attached yourself to a ball and chain that is the wrong audience. That audience are people who think they're looking for cute puppy dog videos. And they're not looking for houses. And so now you've got a 48,000 follower base that you have to climb over every time you want to get to your real audience. You basically now I'm not saying you broke yours. I'm just saying
I'm now forever the watermelon lady. So
yeah. So it's like a good example of somebody who went viral and it kind of worked was Mike Heggie. Do you remember that clip like a year ago, the breathing realtor guy that just took off everywhere? Like he was even on the Today Show. He's one of our members in the Tom Ferry ecosystem. I consulted him quickly after that video happened. He's like one of the only guys I ever found a way to sort of steer that into the domain of real estate and make it work. Because he sort of built on it and built a brand around it. I think it is mission critical that I don't want to care about vanity metrics. I actually don't want to go viral. I really don't want to go viral. I want to go steady. And I want to get good views consistently and build an audience that is the right audience, concentrate with my people. This is why what Andy said is also really important. You've got to stay local. You need to talk about local things because it's a really good chance that Rick Lee, who's only talking about Long Beach, and Andy, who's only talking about Long Beach, is never going to go viral because they've been so freaking serious about Long Beach. That's going to become sort of a ceiling over how far and wide this can go because it won't be applicable to anybody beyond Long Beach. Does that make sense, everybody? You gotta find your path and stay on that path as much as you can. Now, look over here at Sam RP. This dude pretty much does property tours. He does a voiceover.
Parking spots and just under 2,100 square feet.
And these things kill it. They're not even his listings. He just gets permission to go tour listings. Doesn't even walk around with gear. It's just his iPhone. He might have a gimbal with it, maybe. But he just goes out and previews people's properties after getting the consent from the listing agent. And then he posts them here. And this dude generates like lead generation like crazy. So the people who are watching these videos, they're very Boston specific. It's always Boston homes. And he's just generating all these buyers in Boston who want to go see homes with him. Does that make sense? So it's like you get what your content attracts. And therefore, you got to be consistent, consistent, consistent. What is the audience you're trying to build? If you were to go look at my profile right now, the number one line up here is I always say your bio should begin with the audience for whom you're making content. Marketing and AI for real estate pros and entrepreneurs. I am naming my audience. If you click on my bio, it's not about me, it's about you and what I can give you. Because I'm assuming the way you found me was you saw a reel show up in the Reels feed. You don't know who I am. You maybe thought I was interesting. You tapped my profile. I want you to feel safe that you've come to the right place and there's a whole lot more for you here. And so you've got to just think about if I was corralling cattle, I'm trying to get them from over there into this pen. That's a horrible reference. Hopefully that makes, I'm not calling people cattle, but hopefully the idea of corralling them into this audience, I want to build this audience and move them into my pipeline. You got to start where they are. And where they are is not, I'm ready to sell my house today. Where they are is, I want to know what's going on in the local market. I want to see what cool houses exist in Boston. What's going to be your niche that you're known for? And then just again and again and again, get super consistent, not just consistent in when you post, but consistent in the overall look and structure of those videos so that it feels familiar and the algorithm can say, oh, wow, the body of work is here. All this stuff adds up. How many of you have heard the term topic authority? Do you know what topic authority is? Okay. So Andy does. Topic authority means, and then I got to go do some other videos. I'm sorry that I'm just a windbag here. Topic authority means the more you post about the same topic, the more authority the algorithm believes you have and the more credibility. So then when it makes the decision to recommend a video to somebody whose interests align with where you have topic authority, well, then you've built up a lot of authority. So instead of recommending some other person who has less authority than you, it recommends you, and you're going to be the one who wins that game. What's the audience you want to win over right now? And what's going to be your niche, your shtick of content that you just do again and again and again that brings them to you? All right, let's try to do another one or two. I'm going to go fast. I'm going to go with Peter's first. All right, share my screen.
Check that.
Just imagine your honey-do list is already done.
I'm going to go hard and fast feedback. I wasn't moving into the house enough. If this is a home tour, it wasn't about the home. It was about you guys doing the intro, and I want to go see the house. So I want to see you, but I felt like you were in the way of me going to see the house in the beginning. If I'm the viewer wanting to get inside, it was slow go, just giving hard, fast feedback. Let me do another one. Go ahead, Andy, while I'm looking at the next one.
So just a quick question. So I basically posted 2 from Instagram in the actual chat there. One of them is super produced, hyper produced. We did 3 different videos for this listing and we split tested all 3 of them. They all performed wildly different. And then the second one that I posted was basically me on my cell phone doing like a market kind of update at the office that did really
kill.
that just crushed. Yeah, it did really, really well. Because I was speaking to, hey, here's where sellers are at right now. Here's where buyers are at right now. You know what I mean? Like, I understand everybody's got these pain points, and I've been doing like tons of these, but they're usually in my stories. So I just started doing them.
So let me just build on that point. So like these are well done videos. How do I say this when I have 1 minute left? This killed because it feels behind the scenes. It feels like he just grabbed his phone and had to tell you this message. It feels urgent. These feel produced. There's a whole lot of talk up front. You're holding me back from going into the property. I'm sorry if I'm being harsh, and I'm grateful for everybody sharing their links and having grace for me to just be blunt in what I'm saying. But we got to get on with it. At the same time, I want you to have the association as it's your listing, but you got to move. People are scrolling fast. You got to move fast in these videos. Get to the point. You have very limited time.
Right. Could you look at this one too, Jason, and turn the volume up if you can, because it does go super quick. And then I literally do not say a word in the entire video. And then it kind of gets me in the house. But the first like 3 seconds is like a drone pullback from the TV screen that's in the backyard. Unless it was the wrong one I sent you, which is very possible. So
Are you seeing it on the screen now?
yeah.
I'm looking at one that's a house that's just absolutely exquisite.
Yeah, no, it's beautiful. I'm the thumbnail I thought was like the backyard. Could you play like the first 2 seconds of it,
Now
Jason?
let me
Sorry.
refresh me on this.
Yeah, it might be the wrong one I sent you, which is
This
possible.
one
So
starts with your little sizzle.
yeah, okay. Yeah, that's it. And then it's got like a crazy song to it, and then it kind of pulls you through the house, and then it kind of walks you through it. Okay. And then I've got yeah, and it's like an AI kind of thing about the house. And then it drops, and then we did a split test with two other ones that is like more of like a traditional, just kind of like a walkthrough with me in the video, and they did well. But I was, I mean, we're constantly testing, obviously, right, to see what's working best. And the first like 6 to 7 seconds seems to be everything. So
It does. So in the video I was just watching on the screen there, it's the beautiful listing. It actually defies a little bit of what I would have expected it to do. You started with that opening bumper that had your logo and your name. I'm in my head trying to think, why did that work? Because it shouldn't have. To be honest with you, it shouldn't have. And my only thought was, well, it was black and white. It looked like you were a celebrity. Was there a chance I was scrolling and thought this was Dwayne The Rock Johnson or something like that? Was there a chance there was a level of such premium signature name that I was like, who is this guy? Then I thought the actual cinematography of the listing was just sick. I mean, the house drops, it's going in reverse. I see the movie Avatar and I'm like, what are they doing? And there's just a whole lot of visual, what the heck is going on here? And then the music starts sucking you in. And then the house is just so darn nice. You just get sucked into it. And then I see you walking through the rooms, taking a little bit of the brand cachet from that. And I assume that's why it worked. I
okay.
would argue, Andy, for everybody else watching, unless you have a listing like that, it will never work. If you do that with a regular house, that will never work. What seems to work is you've just got to, it's the old metaphor of a penny that doubles in value every day, and it's worth like 10 million bucks at the end of the month. What's going to be your penny post? You do it again, 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 again. You build your topic authority. It could be property tours. It could be talking heads. It could be hyper local news with the green screen background. You got to be consistent, and I think we need to let go of perfect. Perfect doesn't sell right now. You need to give people what they're looking for and a quick hit out of the gate, or they're going to scroll. Too many of those videos were, let me give you all the information before you come in. That is not how anybody wants to operate on Instagram. I know this was a quick hit. Emily, maybe we do one of these again. What do you think? Would that be useful? All right.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
I'm sorry I did not get everyone's videos. I did not manage that clock as well as I could have. I'm sorry, but I hope you got some good insights today. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate it.